Hi everyone, it's Mr. Barden here. Today's video I'm going to be talking about the noteflight online notation software. So this is a software that we can use in order to notate the various kinds of music that you may want to have someone else perform. Again, remember that the sheet music, which you can actually see on screen here in some of that interface, is the kind of the instructions for the performer who will be looking at your music in order to read and recreate what you, as the composer, intended. That's the real short short version of it. So let's just kind of hop in. My goal for this video is to show you what you need to know to get all this done and taken care of. Uh, I will point out that outside of for this class, I personally don't utilize this software. I have another one, which you can actually see down here on my screen, that I use for notation. But this isn't college. I'm not going to ask you to buy a $400 resource that we're going to use twice and then move on. Um, I use mine more than twice. But anyways, so that there are offline versions that you can find of softwares like this, but they usually aren't very cheap. So that's why we're going to be using this one, because we can sign up for free. So if you go to that, it'll do all the things. I think. Kind of yeah, we don't care about that. We don't have the school one, so just go to for personal use and hit continue, and you'll sign in. I already have one. Gosh, I don't remember what my login stuff was. We're just gonna log in with Google, and I'll use this account. Okay, it's all right here. So once you've logged in, you will see your other um, songs right here, and basically you can make up a certain amount of them. Uh, Having more than I think it's 10 uh, means you have to pay for a premium account, which I am not going to require you to do. We will not be making 10 different things for this class. Um, you can also buy scores that other people have made here and published online if you really want to. Sharing things, all that, blah 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 blah. Um, and there's your account information and some settings and stuff like that. You can adjust it however you want. Um, okay, so let's head over to create. This will be where we focus on. We'll be making the music, and we're going to start from a blank score sheet. We won't be exporting any of these other files or importing them, but we're going to start right here and hop right into the interface. It's pretty straightforward. You click on the thing that you want to interact with, and then you do it. So if I wanted to give this a title, uh, tutorial song, cool. That's I can give it a thing. I don't know, whatever. But if you didn't write the lyrics, give them the credits. I don't actually know how to spell Shakespeare offhand, apparently. Um, Bob wrote the lyrics, and then I wrote the music. Cool. I won't actually have any lyrics, but you can go ahead and put all that in first, as much as you can, at least your name and what it is, because once we save it up here, if we were to head back to Noteflight and look at your scores, that's the title and all that information gets loaded in right there. So you can just click on it and open up your old score. But go ahead and get all that info in there so that way you know what it is if when you come back to it. Okay, so basically the way this is arranged is that there's a bunch of toolbars up here that let you do different things. And you'll notice a lot of them have these little arrows here so you can hide or expand different options. So I'm going to go ahead and expand all the ones I can see. I think that's all of them. We'll come across more if we do. But here are all of the options. So basically, my goal for this video is to walk you through all what these all do and whether or not we really need them, um, and then make a little ditty. So under parts, this is where we can add another instrument. So for the project that I'm intending this video to kind of go along with, you have to have a melodic instrument and a harmonic instrument, meaning one that does melodies and one that does chords. Um, that's the idea. So by default, you get piano, but you can swap that out if you want. But you'll need to add something else. So if you add a part, you can see here are all of the instruments that that this software will do. So I recommend using something from the bowed or plucked strings, woodwind or brass is fine. Unpitched percussion probably isn't going to be what you need. Um, and then we don't really need another piano. So maybe stick from something from the woodwinds, brass, or the bowed strings are probably going to be the best bet for you. But you can give it, let's say I wanted to do the clarinet. It'll put all the instrument there. You don't really need to adjust any of the things. Say okay, and it'll get added into the bottom of your score. The score again is the page that has all of the instrument parts, and they're all lined up in sync. So you can look at it and say everything happening at this vertical moment. You can see what each instrument is doing. Whenever you have a solo and accompaniment, the solo goes first. So you can just click and re-drag these around however you want, but put the solo instrument up top. All right, that's under parts. You can adjust formatting and views and things. You can pull up a keyboard if you want to do some keyboard bits. You can also search for stuff for some helpful bits or find some more details about your like metadata and things like that. Um, but you don't use much of that outside of save it and add parts to it. Okay, each of these little toolbars has a name here, um, and you can actually hide and remove them. If you see this little bar right here, I clicked on score to remove it, but there's a ton more. In fact, if I was to just pull them all out, edit, layout, repeat, dynamics, articulation, and view. That's a lot of stuff we can do. Um, and I'm not going to go through every single thing in order. I'm going to focus on the ones that we actually kind of are useful. But you can do a lot of stuff with this. Don't be overwhelmed. It's not nuts. But there's just a lot of stuff. And that's what I wanted to illustrate. Um, but under score, we have a few things we can again look at the parts like we did. You'll probably want to leave it in concert pitch. Some instruments transpose, so to play a B flat, they might see a written C or F or something. But basically, the notes don't line. It's because of physics and history. We don't worry about that. Just leave it all in concert pitch for now, unless you just really want to. We already looked at formatting, page view setup. We can print some things. So if you print it, it'll print it out as if you send it to the printer. We can save it again or export it, and this is where we'll be turning things in. So when we turn stuff in, you want to export it once as the full score PDF, and then again as an MP3 audio. So the top and bottom options of this menu, you can export it both ways. So that way I can see the music and I can hear the music. Those are kind of important for when I'm grading your music. But when you're done with it, you'll export it. Here, it's again the cloud with the little down icon because you're pulling it down from the cloud that's hosting all of this. You can make a copy. You can import files. We don't really do with that. That's the rest of that. We don't really need more. Edit, undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, all that stuff. There's all the commands anyways for it. You can select all or look for certain things. You can get all the keyboard shortcuts up here if you want. That's a useful tool. I'm gonna hide that. Okay. Then let's see. So we've got the edit. That's pretty straightforward. Duration is where you can pick your note value. So let's say when we go into entering notes, you wanted to specifically do a half note. You would click on the half note, and then that's what your note would be. You can also use it to give it dots, double dots, add ties, either to or from a note. You can decrease or increase the note value as well. Rhythm, you can add basically some slashes and tremolos do stuff. Basic basically, we don't really have anything you would necessarily need for this class here. Um, but sometimes adding these dupe I say duplets, but they're basically just combining, three notes into the space of two or four into the space of, basically combining multiple groups of notes into one beat. We don't really need a lot of that. These are the most common ones here, so I'll just leave it right there. But basically, you would say a duplet, and that will put two notes into a group of three, rhythmically speaking. So normally there would be three notes, but this time it's two in that same duration. Um, okay, pitch is where we get, sharps, flats, naturals, transposing, moving things up and down by certain values, octaves, all that, weird accidentals, uh, all that kind of stuff. So that lives in pitch. Tempo is tempo. Maybe I want this to be, you know, there. And then it'll adjust the tempo down below. So you can do that. And this is also where you would put, speed up, slow down, pause, things like that. You can do some swing interpretation if you really want to. We don't necessarily have to. Um, Text is for, well, entering text. So anytime you have, maybe something the performer would need to know, or you want to tell them to get loud or soft, that's what happens right here. There's, again, other stuff, but we really don't need to worry about most of those. Measures, you can add a measure before or after whatever you're selected. You can remove a measure, reset any measure numbers. We probably want to do that. You can adjust the time signature and key signature, as well as the clefs, uh, what kind of bar line we've got, and then there's more clefs and other options right there in multi-measure rest, things like that. We all have layout. We don't need to worry about layout at all. Do dynamics, or we can specify, do we want to have, what volume do we want the note at? Do we want it to get louder or softer? Things like that. Those are important. Articulations are also important. So that's where you can specify, is it accented or short or long, things like that. There's some string and horn stuff there. Some more lines for more articulation things we really don't need to get too into. We don't need to worry about ornaments really either. Under note, this is where we can change the note head. Um, so the shape that appears on top of the note, whether or not the stem points up or down, things like that. We really don't need to worry about that one, or the voice tab, um, or the tablature tab. We don't have to worry about that. Lines are important because that's, again, you can specify solid, dashed, bracket lines, things like that, but they really won't come up in what we do. Neither will colors. You can, change the color of stuff on your page. We don't need to worry about that. Sound, you could have mixers or metronomes and things, but it's not super necessary. And view is just, zooms and things like that. So that's pretty much all the, a very short version of the main options we have here to work with. But let's actually get to the meat of this, which is how to put notes in. So I'm going to click on a bar, and you'll see that it is now highlighted in this orange color. That's the color scheme for this app. And you'll notice as I move my mouse up and down, a note head follows it around, and I can click to put it wherever we want. So let's say I click there, that put a whole note, or a quarter note A on the bit right there. If I go to my duration, I can change that to whatever I want. And you notice that it's the highlighted note. If I click over here, I can make it another one, and so on. But you notice I can't make it a bigger note value here because there's not enough room. So what I can do is I can add a tie and add in that second note value here. So we've got all that. Let's play my wonderful melody. That wasn't great. So let's go back to the beginning. That's my beautiful melody. Okay, cool. So let's go into here. Maybe I want to have something. So let's go and let's add a low E, and I want to make that a half note, and then a low A and a half note. Cool. Um, and then I'll just stick the other notes here. Let's see. Jung, uh, come on. E. And I don't know. I'm just picking some random stuff. Anyways, we'll pretend that that was any kind of good. Um, but basically, what I've got here is a set of instructions, so it'll tell the piano player play these notes. Everything syncs up. You know, each player will see their stuff. We can print it out. We can play it. I can make it faster or slower, so maybe I wanted to really slow it down. Whatever, we can put whatever we want, but you can utilize this to in real time generate your musical instructions for the player. So um, again, for the project, we're gonna want I'm gonna select this. I'm just gonna add a whole bunch, at least 32, I think is what I specified, measures long. So 34, there we are. 32 measures. It'll say what measure you're in at the top of the page there. So at least 32 measures long is the whole shabil. Once it's done, I want everyone to, um, again, you're going to make sure you save it, obviously, but then export as a full score PDF. It'll do its thing. It'll ask you to save it. Um, Let me just open this up, and it'll just be a PDF file that you can do whatever you want to with. And that thing you're going to want to do is turn it in. You can also print it out and give it to people to perform if you wanted to, but for this class, you'll turn it in. You'll also export it as an MP3 audio file. And can I just open it in here? Or will it force iTunes to open? Yeah, force. And it plays the thing just like an audio file. So that's there. That's how you'll make and turn all the stuff in. So that's pretty much it. Again, there's a lot of things you can do here. I kind of skimmed through them, so definitely explore those. And if there's something that you want to specifically achieve, you know, ask around, ask your neighbors, and then let me know as well. I'll more than likely be able to get you in the right direction. Um, and then if you, oop, I hit my MIDI keyboard and it recognized the prompt. If you have any questions about the musical content or anything technical for this, definitely let me know. Again, you feel free to ask your classmates, but you know, shoot me a message on Remind or in the you know, put a private comment on Google Classroom or something in the office hours, and we'll work it out and get it set up. There will be little work in progress grades to turn in as we go as well. So that way you don't have to worry about having, you know, to come up with something from the, you know, on the fly every time. You can, you know, work on something for one day, turn it in, work on it again, turn it in, and, you know, we'll kind of see this progression as we go. That's going to be it from me. Again, remember, you'll have to make a free account to be able to log in and do this. You are limited um, on the stuff in your account. Um, yeah, basic, and you can look into more of those details if you want. Um, and I'm not going to stop you from, you know, doing more stuff, but getting that premium account, but you don't necessarily need to. All right, that's going to be it from me. So if you have any questions, as always, reach out. All the stuff, comments, like, subscribe, blah, 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 all the boring bits. And I will see you all the next time that I see you. Bye.